Feel free to be whoever you want to be. Feel free to dance, feel free to sing, just feel free. Feels like the world is picking on you.
Well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Two Tone Talk Podcast, episode 12, where we have a lot of things to discuss today on the channel. A lot happened yesterday, and we're going to talk about all of it. There was a game last night, a game that, felt sort of weird and meaningless and bizarre, and how most of the starters were out. No Derrick Henry, no Jeffrey Simmons, no, Danico Autry, Christian Fulton, the list goes on and on. But the main story coming out of yesterday, as I post the link to this live stream on Twitter, the main story coming out of yesterday is the quarterback situation in Nashville. Yesterday, the news came out, first of all, that Ryan Tannehill has officially been placed on injured reserve. He will not be back this season. I think we all probably realistically knew that was going to happen. It was a very long shot that he would be able to come back. He had surgery last week. I mean, it was just not really in the cards, even though he tried to hold out hope. Ryan Tannehill on IR. Also, Bud Dupree and Zach Cunningham, also both placed on IR. They're done for the year. And as I said yesterday, a very appropriate ending to both of their time as a Titan, ending on IR, considering that they've pretty much been injured since they walked through the door of the Titans organization. So, Malik Willis, rookie, who has started 3 games this year, 2 against Houston, 1 against Kansas City, has looked less than stellar when he's been in there. And so yesterday, around the same time as the news broke about Tannehill going on IR, it was announced that the Titans were going to start Josh Dobbs last night against the Cowboys. A guy who obviously went to the University of Tennessee. He's been in the NFL for 6 years. Had a cup of coffee with the Steelers. Had a cup of coffee with the Browns. Was having a cup of coffee with the Lions when the Titans came and brought him in literally 9 days ago. And it was announced he was going to get to start last night. And the speculation began. Why is this happening? Is this happening because Malik Willis is getting benched? Is this happening because they're trying to keep Malik healthy for the big, Jags game? As we said, a lot of starters held out last night. Was Malik just another one of those? If he's young, does he not need the reps? There was it was a battlefield on Twitter yesterday among Titans fans talking about this quarterback situation, and people just pitching a fit. But Josh Dobbs got the start last night, and let me read off to you his stat line so that we can put this into context. Last night against the Dallas Cowboys, a 27-13 loss, 6th straight loss by the Titans. Josh Dobbs went 20 of 39. When's the last time the Titans threw the ball 39 times in a game? No Derrick Henry in this game. He went 20 of 39 for 232, a touchdown and an interception. Pretty basic NFL quarterback numbers, right? But you got to keep in mind there were some terrible drops, one by Woods, one by Hooper, one by Burks. We'll get into that in a little bit. I'll just say this. I thought Dobbs played pretty well last night. Keep in mind, this is Dallas, one of the best teams in the league. They got a good defense. The guy's been on the team 9 days. He's dealing with the same terrible offensive line that Tannehill and Willis have dealt with. He's dealing with the same mediocre talent at wide receiver that the other guys dealt with. I thought he played well last night. And Titans fans, it's time to have a little heart-to-heart, okay? I didn't know if I was going to do this today, but it's time to have a heart-to-heart. Let me get a sip of coffee. Titans fans, it's time to come to reality. It's time to get our heads out of the clouds. It's time to get our heads out of the clouds and just be honest. Years ago, when Marcus Mariota was a quarterback of this team, we all loved Marcus, okay? But let's be honest. As the years went by, Marcus was getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And we all, me included, we made every excuse in the book as for, what the problem was with Marcus. We blamed the coach. We blamed the offensive coordinator. We blamed the receivers. We blamed the offensive line. We blamed everybody to try and convince ourselves that Marcus Mariota was our franchise quarterback and that he was going to be the franchise quarterback for years to come. And when he got benched in 2019 for Ryan Tannehill, there was a large contingency of Titans fans that pitched a fit. You're benching the future of this team. Never mind the fact that the guy is progressively getting worse. And listen, I got nothing against Marcus, okay? But now he's gone to Atlanta. And there's still a large contingency of Titans fans that would, anytime Marcus would, complete a pass in Atlanta this season, they would post it and say, oh, look at here. Marcus is balling out. He's the man. Do you guys realize nobody outside of Titans fandom thinks of Marcus Mariota as being anything more than a mediocre quarterback? Okay, God bless the guy. Nobody. There's no Falcons fans. There's no Raiders fans because Marcus was with the Raiders for a while. There are no fans outside of the Titans fan base that even remotely put Mariota on that level except us. Because, I get it. We drafted him. We wanted him to be something that he wasn't. And we tried to convince ourselves that he could be that guy, and it was becoming clearer and clearer with every year that he wasn't that guy. Now, why do I bring Marcus up? Because I'm going to shift the conversation now to young Malik Willis. Now, I understand Malik's a rookie. He started in 3 games. Do not take this as me saying I'm giving up on Malik ever being anything. I'm not. I hope that in a couple of years Malik Willis can be that guy for the Tennessee Titans, okay? But I am seeing some of the same delusion from Titans fans regarding Malik Willis that I used to see regarding Marcus Mariota. And that is, we are so caught up on what we want you to be. We want you to be. We want you to be that guy. We want to believe that it's because of our offensive coordinator, Todd Downing, who I have ranted about. We know he's no good. We want to believe that if we just had a better offensive coordinator, and if we just had a better offensive line, and if we just had better receivers, then Malik Willis could be that guy for us right now. Guys, I'll be the first to tell you, Todd Downing's bad. Our offensive line's bad. Our wide receivers are mediocre. I'm not disputing any of that. But after watching what Josh Dobbs did with the same crew, the same coordinator, the same O-line, the same mediocre receivers last night, There is no argument to be made here, guys. There's no debate. There's no need to try and make a case for Malik Willis. It's not even close. They have to go with Dobbs against Jacksonville next week. It's just, I mean, come on. There's nothing more that needs to be said. If you want to hold out hope that Malik Willis can be something in a couple of years, I'm holding out that hope right here with you. But right now, on December the 30th, 2022, it's not even a discussion. There's no debate. I'm not asking you to jump ship on Malik Willis. But right now, there's no contest. Josh Dobbs he's not the next Peyton Manning, but he is the significantly better option for the Titans. He gives them a much better chance to win than Malik Willis. Malik Willis is not in a position to overcome the bad O-line, the bad offensive coordinator, the bad receivers. What I fear is that we're seeing some of these same delusions from Titans fans. I saw it on Twitter before and after the game. You got fans during and after the game last night insinuating that Todd Downing, who can't even muster up the gumption to take Jeff Swaim out of the game, who can't even muster up the gumption to call one good play. I've got Titans fans on Twitter trying to tell me that Todd Downing has incorporated a new playbook for Josh Dobbs, who's only been in town 9 days, because they want to sabotage Malik Willis and make him look bad. Do you hear yourself when you say these things, guys? Come on. Come on, dude. You want to know why Malik Willis doesn't run the same type of offense that we saw from Dobbs last night? You want to know why they don't run the same type of offense? Because Malik can't do it, guys. I'm not saying he won't be able to do it in a couple of years, but right now Malik Willis is not capable of doing what Josh Dobbs did last night. Again, I'm not saying Dobbs is Peyton Manning. I'm not saying he's Patrick Mahomes. I'm just saying he's been in the league 6 years. He's got some knowledge. He's got some experience that Malik Willis just doesn't have. And I don't want to see Titans fans becoming so attached to their dreams for Malik Willis and their hopes of what he could be, just like they did with Marcus. This is what we want you to be. We want you to be the next big thing. We want you to be Lamar Jackson. We want you to be all of these other great quarterbacks. Right now, he's not. And it's not just because we have a bad offensive coordinator, and it's not just because we have a bad O-line, and it's not just because we have mediocre receivers. It's because Malik Willis right now is not ready. He is not ready. I've been saying it for weeks. Look at his numbers. Josh Dobbs threw for more yards last night against Dallas than Malik Willis has thrown in all 3 of his starts combined. That's not just me trying to be funny. That's not just me trying to be funny. That's me just being honest with you. I took this screenshot. Paul Kaharski, reporter for the Titans, posted today. Josh Dobbs had 220 net passing yards for the Titans last night. Malik Willis has 185 combined in 3 starts. Can we stop? Can we stop trying to make a case for, I mean, come on. You don't have to throw in the towel on Malik, but right now, December 30th, 2022, if you think, and I've also seen people who are saying, this is going to ruin Malik's confidence. This is going to ruin Malik's confidence. Guys, it's the NFL. If this kid is going to have his career derailed by being asked to set for a veteran after 3 starts when he's clearly not ready yet, if his confidence is ruined right there, do you really want that guy to be the quarterback of your team? If his confidence can be completely ruined by getting benched for a veteran when he's a rookie, then he doesn't need to be in this league. Malik, his confidence will be fine. You want to know what would really mess Malik's confidence up? Throwing him in there with this O-line and this offensive coordinator and these receivers when he's a rookie and not ready to be in there. That's what will ruin his confidence. There's no debate. No need to question it. No need to argue about it. Josh Dobbs will and should be the quarterback when the Titans go to Jacksonville next weekend. Ryan Green is someone in my comments right now who is clearly a Jags fan, who said the pain is coming next Sunday in Jacksonville, payback time for 1999. I mean, how long you hold on to this grudge, bro? How does it feel knowing this is Trevor Lawrence's division for the next decade? Your comments will age well when the Jags win. Man, where did these Jags fans come from? My gosh. Like, they win a few games and suddenly it's like they come out of the woodwork. So see, Will, I don't think Malik has a confidence issue. I don't think confidence is an issue for him. I think it's ability right now. It's knowledge of the game. It's clarity of running the offense. I know, Connor. For those of you listening on Spotify, I'm reading this chat on YouTube. Anyway, just had to get that out there. Guys, don't be so blinded by your delusion that, you create. I mean, I saw somebody say it last night. It used to be like Marcus could do no wrong. Now it's Malik can do no wrong. Like, stop it. Stop it. Now, let's talk about the game last night. As weird as it was, most of the starters are out. Titans lose 27-13. Dobbs made some really nice throws. Think of the long ball to Racey McMath. The touchdown to Robert Woods. Some nice stuff from Traylon Burks. It was good. It was good. He played well. I'm not going to say he's the greatest thing in the world, but he played well. He gives him the best chance right now. Kevin Byard, you want to talk about playing well? I appreciate it. Ryan Green, the Jags fan, in the chat says he enjoys the show. Been watching since they beat the crap out of us 3 weeks ago. Well, Ryan, I appreciate you watching. Kevin Byard. Love Kevin Byard. A lot of starters sat out last night. Byard said, I'm going in there. I want to be a leader. Not saying that the guys who didn't play weren't leaders, but, Byard's not injured. He's not really banged up. He went in there and he got 2 interceptions last night, man. I can't say enough about Kevin Byard and how much I appreciate him. Now, there were not all backups in there last night. There were some starters in there last night who left something to be desired, okay? Austin Hooper, Robert Woods, and Traylon Burks had bad drops. Game-changing drops. Drops that were like chunk plays. Third down conversions to keep drives going that they dropped. I that can't happen against Jacksonville. If you make the playoffs, that can't happen there. That's unacceptable. I don't care who the quarterback is. You cannot go out there and drop passes like that, especially on third down and in big situations. You can't do it. Penalties. Let's talk about penalties. Oh my gosh. Now, there are some cases where the Titans need to be more disciplined. Every time there's a long run play, I just look for the flag. The penalty on Trey Avery on the pass interference, which ended up being a 51-yard penalty that set them up for an easy touchdown last night. That was a stupid play by Trey Avery. It was a good call by the referees. It was a stupid play by Trey Avery to bear hug a guy on 3rd and 19 on the sideline. It just horrible, horrible play. With that being said, I ranted about this last night, and I will do it again today. Something's got to be done about NFL referees. Now, I never want to totally blame the referees for how a game goes. I don't want to be that guy. And I'm not saying that the Titans would have won last night if these calls... No, that's not what I'm saying. The Cowboys are better than the Titans. I know that. With that being said, though, some of these pass interference calls that were mainly called on Roger McCreary, who got burned a lot last night, but there were sometimes he was getting called for pass interferences that I have no idea. I have no idea what these referees are seeing. The roughing the passer. When Monty Rice hit Dak Prescott, they called roughing the passer. Then on the very next drive, the exact same hit on Josh Dobbs, and it doesn't get called. These referees are never held accountable, and I'm not just speaking for the Titans here. I'm speaking all 32 teams, and fans of all 32 teams have experienced this, especially over the last 4 or 5 years. Inconsistent calls. We see a hit on a quarterback that's called roughing the passer. It's a game-changing call. It's a difference between whether a team's going to punt or whether they have a first down in opponent territory. And it happens all the time. Game-changing roughing the passers, game-changing pass interferences, where they'll call it one way and then the exact same thing happens on the other side, and for some reason it doesn't get called. If you're going to call it one way, you have to call it the other. I cannot deal with this anymore because it's going to cost someone a playoff game. It's going to cost someone a Super Bowl, and some referee's going to end up getting punched in the face, and I'm going to be sitting at home doing this right here because not only are they making these bad calls, but there's no accountability. Listen, if a player goes out and does something stupid on the field, some kind of personal foul, some type of dirty hit, whatever, they're fined. They're held accountable. They're suspended. They miss a game. If a coach gets out of line, does something he's not supposed to do, he's fined. He's suspended. Referees make game-changing, awful calls all the time, and there's not even a slap on the wrist. And that ought to drive every NFL fan crazy. Because you know what? Am I saying the Titans would have won last night without those calls? No. As I said last night, the Titans have lost 6 straight games. I don't know what it would take for the Titans to win a game at this point, guys. But these are the guys putting their bodies on the line every week to go out there. Can we just let them decide it? Like, we don't need ticky-tack pass interference calls. We don't need ticky-tack roughing the passer calls that literally change. I remember earlier this year I was watching the Falcons. I think they were playing the Bucks because it was Brady. And they called a roughing the passer call against Atlanta where if the call wouldn't have been made, it was a terrible call. It was awful. I'm sure you all remember it. It was earlier this season. If that call doesn't get made, the Falcons get the ball back with a chance to go down and win the game. But instead, it's roughing the passer, and it gives Tampa Bay a first down, and then Brady takes a knee and it's over. That's a game-changing call. And it happens all the time. And there's no accountability. I don't care who you're a fan of in the chat today. I don't care who you're a fan of listening on Spotify or wherever. Can we all agree that referees should be held accountable? If they're going to try and make that big... Sorry, guys. I still have a cold. If they're going to... Whoa, Lord. If they're going to make calls... Sorry, everybody. That are that critical in a game... Bro. They should be held accountable. It's ridiculous. Getting a sip of coffee. There we go. That's the big cough I needed. Now, moving right along. What else happened last night? Dennis Daly, 2 false starts. 1 on 4th and 5. Put them in 4th and 10 and they had to punt. Attaboy Dennis. Attaboy Dennis. And the sad thing is that I don't know if the Titans have another option right now. I don't know that. And you know what the sad thing is? The offensive line was actually better last night, and they still sucked. They were better last night, and they still sucked. How does that happen? I don't know what to tell you about this offensive line. And I wish I could make you feel better, but for the Jags game, they're getting back Nicholas Petit-Frere at right tackle, but he's been trash. So, I don't know. I am a little, the play calling by Todd Downing seemed better last night, but you have to keep in mind we had no Derrick Henry. You get Derrick Henry back in the game, maybe we go back to the same old, let's run it even when it don't make sense to run it, But we'll see. Traylon Burks, I thought he made a really nice play at the end of the half. Set him up for that chip shot field goal. Had a bad drop, but, I just don't understand why we're not trying to get him the ball more. He's our best receiving threat by a country mile. Robert Woods had a touchdown last night, but also had a drop. He fell down on a route. I don't understand what's going on. And Will Dotson says, why couldn't they find a left tackle on practice squads like they did all year with secondary? I'll give you another example. They went out and found a quarterback who could come in and play pretty well on a practice squad, and you can't find a left tackle from any other practice squads? You're going to continue to trot Dennis Daly out there? I don't know. Burks does seem to be getting better the more he plays. Seems to be getting a little more swagger, a little more confidence. And the thing is, so you've got a situation with the Titans where if they win against Jacksonville, obviously they're in the playoffs. If they lose, they've probably got a top 10 draft pick. So it's a win-win, everybody. You either go to the playoffs or you have a top 10 draft pick. Woohoo! But I as far as who they take in the draft, I'm going to save that for later because that's more of a once the off season's finally here. And I'll probably talk more about the big game against Jacksonville on Monday because that's, that'll be officially game week. But I will just say it's going to be a big game. It's, and we knew regardless of what happens this week, Jacksonville plays Houston this weekend. But regardless of what happens in that game, regardless of what happened last night, we knew the game in Week 18 is going to be for the AFC South. It's going to be for the playoffs. And it's going to be big. It's in Jacksonville. And Dobbs is your guy for that game. And the Titans are going to be getting a lot of guys back. A lot of guys that didn't play last night. Henry will be back. Simmons, Autry, Fulton, Hooker. I would anticipate David Long coming back. Kyle Phillips, you can forget it. They only have one IR spot left, and it's probably going to go to David Long. Ryan says the fan base in Jacksonville is ready. So there you go, guys. Jacksonville's going to be getting rowdy on probably Sunday. I'm guessing the game will get flexed to Sunday night. It's going to be big. It's going to be a big-time game. And I'll be honest with you guys. Give me time. Give me time to try and get excited. I will get excited about the game, but I will say this. It's a bizarre feeling to try and talk yourself into believing that a team is going to go in there and win when they've lost 6 straight games, guys. They've lost 6 straight games. Maybe that means they're due a win. I don't know. But, Will Dotson said, started 7-3 and now fighting for a playoff spot. Pinch me because I think I'm dreaming. It has been a weird season, man. The Titans went on a long win streak in the first half of the season, and then in the second half it's totally fallen apart. It's been a roller coaster ride that has left me and all Titans fans feeling very strange. Very strange. It's like, it's hard to believe that this very season, the Titans had us believing. 6 weeks ago, they beat Green Bay on a Thursday night game. They were 7-3. It was like, dude, yeah, we're rolling now. I just couldn't believe that this is what it's, what it's become. Somebody said Jags finally win in Tennessee and act like they're a Super Bowl contender. Tell you what, I've never seen a 7-9 team that happy to be 7-9, 7-8, whatever they are. Ryan's got something to say. Ryan, I'll tell you this. Ryan Green, everybody, if you're listening, Ryan Green is a Jags fan in the chat. Not this Monday, but next Monday after the game's over. I'll be right here. You be in the chat, and whoever's team wins will get to say whatever they want, bro. We'll get to say whatever they want. All right. There's some other games coming up this weekend that I want to talk about. Week 17. Can you believe we're already here? Week 17. 2 weeks away from the playoffs. Unbelievable. Flies by, everybody. It is literally, if you're like me, we spend all year looking forward to this. Like, we spend all year looking forward to this. Football season, man. It's what we look forward to, and now just like that, it's already week 17. Ryan Green says, I do sports radio in Jacksonville. Would love to have you on. I'm there, man. I'm there. Find me on Instagram or Twitter or YouTube or wherever. This weekend, on New Year's Day, Cardinals-Falcons. Who cares? Both these teams are eliminated from playoff contention. I'm going to go with the Cardinals, but it doesn't matter. They're both eliminated. Bears-Lions. Lions need to win. The Lions are fighting to get into the playoffs. They need to win. The Bears, they're on like an 8-game losing streak or something. So maybe the Bears are due a win, but I doubt it. It's in Detroit. Lions are coming off of a tough loss for the against the Panthers, I believe, last week. And so I got to think the Lions get the rebound. The Bears just have nothing outside of Justin Fields. So give me the Lions over the Bears. And I still think the Lions can make the playoffs. But it's going to be fun to see how that NFC shakes out, in that 7 seed. Because there's a lot of teams knocking on the door. Broncos, Chiefs, and Kansas City. Kansas City's mainly playing to try to get that 1 seed. And they have a golden opportunity because the Bengals and the Bills are playing each other on Monday night. And so the Bills could very well lose that game. And so we'll have to, kind of keep an eye on that. I think if the Chiefs win this, they could jump up and be the number 1 seed. So I'm picking the Chiefs over the Broncos. They're clearly better than the Broncos. Broncos country, let's hide. Dolphins, Patriots, big game in the AFC. Big game in the AFC wild card race. I'm going to... the Dolphins have lost 4 straight. Patriots are kind of hanging around there. The Patriots haven't looked good. It's in Foxborough. Dolphins are going to be with Teddy Bridgewater. I don't think Tua will be back. I'm going to go with the Patriots. I'm going to go with the Patriots to win this game. I don't know if the Dolphins are going to make it, guys. After looking as good as they did, at one point I thought they were contenders in the AFC, and now I don't even know if the Dolphins are going to make it. I'm going with the Patriots over the Dolphins, and the Patriots might be that 7th seed. Colts, Giants. The Colts. Give me the Giants. I think the Giants will win this game and pretty much lock up a playoff spot. Got to be honest with you, I didn't believe in the Giants, but you know what? Winning that big game over the Commanders a couple of weeks ago, I think it's kind of set them up pretty nice in the NFC. Favorable matchup against the Colts. Give me the Giants over the Colts, and God only knows what the offseason has in store for the Colts. Saints, Eagles. This is actually a big game for the Saints because the Saints are trying to hang around in that terrible NFC South. Bucks and Panthers play each other. They're kind of hanging around. I'm gonna guess the Eagles win this game. I think the Eagles winning this game gives them the NFC East. They would win the division. Give me the Eagles over the Saints by a couple of scores. Eagles coming off of a loss. They might have Jalen Hurts back for this game. Give me the Eagles. Panthers, Bucks, huge game right here. Huge game between the Panthers and Bucks. Panthers are 1 game back from the Bucks in the NFC South, but if they win, they'll be tied. They'll own the tiebreaker. Give me the Bucks. I was trying to talk myself into it. At the end of the day, I have to believe the Bucks are going to come away with this division. Give me the Bucks over the Panthers in this game, but a close one. I think it'll be close and boring. Browns, Commanders. Commanders are hanging on for dear life in the NFC. For absolute dear life. The Browns have kind of won a couple of games now. The Commanders are looking kind of bad. I'm going with the Browns. I'm going with the Browns over the Commanders, even though it's in Washington. I'm going to say Browns get the win. Commanders just feel like they're kind of slacking off a little bit. They're going back to Wentz. I think that's a bad decision. Give me the Browns. Jags, Texans. The old Jags. Really doesn't matter. The Titans-Jags game is going to be for all the marbles anyway. Give me the Jags over the Texans. The Texans are a bad team. Who'd they beat last week? Oh, yeah. The Jags are going to beat the Texans. 49ers, Raiders. Raiders have an outside shot of the playoffs, I believe. They're benching Derek Carr. It's over for the Raiders. Give me the 49ers. 49ers look very good. They're rolling toward the playoffs. Give me the Niners over the Raiders. Jets, Seahawks. This is kind of, especially for the Jets, they're on life support, I think, in the AFC right now. I mean, they're really, with their quarterback situation, Zach Wilson once again, I mean, they're done with him. The Jets don't look like they look like just a shell of what they were earlier in the season. While the Seahawks, they're the first team. If the Commanders were to lose, the Seahawks are the first team that would be able to step in. Give me the Seahawks. Give me the Seahawks over the Jets. It's in Seattle. I trust, something I never thought I'd say, I trust Geno Smith more than whoever the Jets are going to trot out there, probably Mike White. Give me Seahawks over the Jets to really put the Seahawks in a position to steal a playoff spot. Vikings, Packers, big game for different reasons for these teams. The Vikings, they're still holding on to outside shot of getting the number one seed in the NFC, while the Packers are trying to make a late season playoff surge. I think it's the Lions are ahead of them, the Seahawks are ahead of them, the Commanders, so they've got to have some teams lose in front of them. But the Packers are still alive. It's still Aaron Rodgers, and it's in Green Bay. The Packers have a lot more to play for than the Vikings, so I'm going to actually take the Packers over the Vikings in this game. I think the Vikings, they're probably not going to get to that number one seed because the Eagles are probably going to beat the Saints. I think the Packers just have more to play for because they're trying to hold on to hope to get in a playoff spot. Give me the Packers over the Vikings. Rams, Chargers. Chargers have already clinched a playoff spot. The Rams are horrible. Give me the Chargers over the Rams, the battle of the LA teams. It's a shame that LA has a good Chargers team and then a defending Super Bowl champion Rams team, and they're not even a football town. But the Chargers over the Rams. Sunday Night Football, Steelers and the Ravens. Ravens, this is an important game. Ravens trying to keep pace to set up a big showdown with the Bengals in Week 18. I don't know if Lamar Jackson's back for this game. I've been trying to look at the reports. I don't know. The Steelers are holding on to outside shot of getting a playoff spot as well, so it's a big game for both teams. In Baltimore, I think it's more important for the Ravens, so give me the Ravens over the Steelers. I think the Ravens, they want to set up that big game with the Bengals, and so definitely keep your eye on the Ravens beating the Steelers to set up probably what I think would be for the AFC North, which is crazy because the Bengals have been so good, over the course second half of the season, but yet they still might lose their division. And keep in mind, the Bengals have a tough one on Monday night. The Ravens have already beaten the Bengals once, so the Ravens would totally own that tiebreaker. So, going to be interesting. Give me the Ravens over the Steelers. And then Monday night. You want to talk about a great Monday night game. Bills, Bengals in Cincinnati. Two AFC contenders going head-to-head. Feel like these teams never seem to play each other. And these are two teams that are at the top of their game right now. This is going to have a playoff feel. The Bills are trying to hold on to a number one seed. The Bengals maybe trying to make a little noise if the Broncos were to upset the Chiefs or something. And the Bengals beat the Chiefs head-to-head, so the Bengals are still holding on hope for a number one seed. Give me the Bills. I'm going to take Bills over the Bengals Monday night. It's Josh Allen. It's Stephon Diggs. It's really hard to bet against them. Give me the Bills over the Bengals. I also wanted to mention the college football playoff. I know this is about the NFL, but the college football playoffs going on this weekend. Wanted to make some quick picks for that as well. So first of all, you've got Georgia. Whoops. Sorry about that. Something popped up on my phone. Didn't know what was going on. This weekend, you've got Georgia, who looks insanely good. I'm looking for the games here so I can give you a proper whatever. Well, you got TCU and Michigan. I'm taking Michigan in that one. Georgia, Ohio State's going to be the better game. I'm going to go Georgia. So Georgia, Michigan national title game, and I think Georgia will kill Michigan in that game. I think Georgia is going to steamroll their way to a national championship. All right, so Monday, I will be back. We will be in a new year, and it'll be full speed ahead to Jacksonville, Florida. Be back Monday for episode 13. We're going to talk about Titans-Jags. We're going to talk about Titans-Jags, and we're going to talk about Titans-Jags. We'll also recap whatever happens this weekend. Thank you guys for joining me here on Two Tone Talk. Don't forget, I'm on Twitter at Two Tone Talk. I'm on, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on SoundCloud, and of course, we're on YouTube. Please go subscribe over there as well. Two Tone Talk. We're staying way too high on the wins, way too low on the losses. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, never satisfied. They'll never say it to your face.